Hey, welcome everybody to Aeos Clubhouse. This is Aeos Clubhouse for September 8th, Blastoise release week. We're recording on a Wednesday. We know everything this time. I'm Kyle Ferguson. I'm joined by Mockery. Welcome, Mockery.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Doing excellent. He's so much fun. I'm having a great time. Kai Berries, welcome.
Hello.
Good to see you. How has everyone's week been in the Pokemon Unite?
You know, just vibes here. I haven't run into any race car Crustle Mockery enthusiasts on the enemy team, so that's pretty good.
I'm
taking it all for myself.
Yeah.
I've been playing it nonstop since Shot told us about it, and gotten many a teammate and enemy angry at me. I went into a teammate's Twitch after we played a game together, and they were just raging at me. They were looking at my stream. They were seeing the games I play. They were like, oh, this guy, he plays Heroes of the Storm. That's why he's doing this strategy, because he doesn't know how to play MOBAs, because he plays HOTS. Yeah, no, that happened when I pulled out the strategy from last week. You know, I've rustled a few jimmies.
Yeah.
Pulling out.
So his reasoning that you're playing Crustle is because you've played another MOBA, therefore you don't know how to play MOBAs? Interesting.
Well, I played the Fisher Price, you know, the baby's first
Oh,
MOBA.
baby. Okay,
You know?
all right, okay.
Because MOBAs are nothing but a gentleman's agreement on nothing but good sportsmanship across the board. Clearly, Heroes of the Storm is the real degenerate place to be. But League of Legends, Dota, everyone's just peachy over there.
I have never seen anything but polite, gentlemanly, you know, just brotherly love between Dota and League of Legends players.
Absolutely.
I guess video games in general, right? Players will always find the path of least resistance. Whatever strategy will get you the most reward for the smallest amount of like work or effort or teamwork or whatever it is, whatever you can do to get the most stuff. That's what players are gonna do.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Look at like classic World of Warcraft, 17-year-old game, the absolute insane levels of min-maxing that go on in that game. Like, duh. Like, if people can find a strat like Race Car Crustle, they're gonna do it. Like, this is just gamers in general, right?
Doing this as Crustle, it reminds me of this thing I saw in college about a college team that had taught rats how to play basketball. And specifically, it was a competition where you had one little mini basketball court, you and another team, and each team's rat was put into the court, and you had to see whose rat could score more points by repeatedly dunking the basketball. And they were trained, obviously, you know, they'd go in, dunk the basketball, run over to the side, grab a treat, go in, dunk the basketball again, run in and grab another treat. And I fully identify with that rat. That rat that has been taught to dunk a ball for instant gratification, that is literally me doing this strategy. We're even both dunking balls here, as far as Crustle goes. So like you said, you know, I've been trained, basically. I'm doing what I am incentivized to do, and I'm scoring 300 points a game alongside it. So it's working.
Okay. My first question was, is it really basketball? But then I remembered the rats have little rat hands with the little bony fingers, and they could totally pick up a ball and put it up. Yeah, creepy. They
pulled up a little rat scale basketball. No, I mean, it you know, if you saw it in person, it was very wholesome. It was scientific. You know, nothing weird about it.
I sadly have resistance to this. I'm not like I'm, you know, I'm not perfect by any means. I enjoy a good bit of tilting. I mean, that's half the joy of playing a competitive game with real people existing on the other side. It's the fear. When I show up on the field and I'm 3 levels up and everyone runs from me, that's where I'm like, yeah, this is now a video game. And those are real people tilted by my awesomeness. I'm loving it. But I haven't done any backdoor Crustle. I just haven't been feeling it, you know? Maybe I'm not frustrated enough. I'm still expert. I want to go. I've really been enjoying Blastoise.
Yeah, I feel like one of us is always late to it, you know? Like
I haven't played it either. Just I only do one thing, right? So I haven't played it, but when I see like someone, mostly Mockery, do it, I'm like, ah.
I feel like for every trend, there's like one or two of us that is like on that trend right away and can be like, all right, this is my experience with it this time. I have gotten it. And the other ones of us are like, nope, haven't gotten to it yet. Like, I'm still over here playing my Cinderace, and I'm still over here playing my Eldegoss, you know?
Oh, but I'm totally on that balcony. I'm like leaning over. Maybe I even have like someone holding my legs so I can really watch the dumpster fire with my binoculars. Like I love the drama, and I will participate from afar.
Okay.
And I didn't
Kyle
once...
Ferguson, professional looky-loo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I didn't once see it this week, which would have encouraged me, right? Like if I saw other people do it, I would have been like, well, you know, the natural strategy to stop this sort of tomfoolery is to do it myself and to counter by doing. We learn that in any movie. You learn that. You don't want to deal with X hero? Go learn X hero. And they can't have it anymore. Not the case in Pokemon Unite where there's mirror matches allowed, but I haven't felt the need. But it's working. Okay. It's working for you 100%.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not 100%. Like, I don't have 100% success rate. You know, sometimes you still lose, but is it very effective? Oh, yeah. I've been having a great time with it.
Has it evolved any for you?
To be honest, not particularly. I feel like more I've learned how to use it. You get used to like, okay, these are the exact little mini optimizations that I can use. I know when I'm going to toss Stealth Rock. I know, oh, this guy I can mislead and make him chase me around. You know, I feel that I'm not sure if that's the strategy evolving or me evolving, but there's definitely been a lot of little like micro optimizations you can make about at all different points in the game, when you can sneak stuff in, what you can get away with, learning the internal cooldown of Score Shield, because that's actually pretty important for this kind of thing.
What is it?
I mean, I don't know, but I know that if I get a Score Shield interrupted, it's on an internal cooldown. Okay. I don't know what the amount is, but so that's
somebody out there has to know. Report back to us, viewers, please.
Because that's been really relevant for me as Crustle, when I try to go in and I try to dunk my points regularly and they pop my shield. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't enough shield, but I still want to get these points in. I'm going to ult and then try and turn in. But because I just tried to turn in and they interrupted, even it doesn't trigger for the ult shield either. So the effect of the Score Shield is on cooldown. Even after I ult and I have this massive shield for like half my health, I'm still getting interrupted on the turn in. So that means that like if you think you're gonna have to ult for it, you have to just commit. You know, you can't like, maybe I can turn in normally and then get that interrupted and then now your Score Shield's on cooldown. No, it doesn't work.
Because the normal turn in would give you the shield that activates the score shielding, and you're now on that hidden cooldown.
Yeah, and I don't know what exactly the hidden cooldown is. I couldn't tell you the exact deep nature about how it works, but I do know that it is very relevant for that situation right there, and it has cost me quite a few very vital turn-ins here and there. So that was something I had to learn really quickly.
Interesting. Speaking of internal and hidden cooldowns, I would love it if Shell Bell just went tiny heal, maybe, but just all the time. Get rid of this set number and the cooldown inside. I just want to see tiny heals going.
Yeah. For those of us listening that don't quite remember, Shell Bell heals you whenever you have an ability that damages an enemy. I want to say damages any kind of enemy, but it could be an enemy player. Kyle can go ahead and double check that. But it has a hidden internal cooldown. It can only trigger every so often. So at the start, everyone was like, oh, pick up all these, fast spell damage dealing abilities that deal a lot of little ticks of damage. So you get a bunch of triggers of Shell Bell. And then now that's not a thing, you can't actually do that because of how long the cooldown is. So I totally agree.
Running Shell Bell.
What's up?
I miss running Shell Bell, but not even for that heal. I didn't even care about that heal. It reduces the cooldown of your abilities, and that's why I like Shell Bell, because I felt like I got more healing. But if I used Shell Bell in like present meta, I would get flamed. So can't.
Wait, how do you get? I want to know this. How did you get flamed? People can't look at your items, right?
Like on stream and stuff.
The chat. Okay.
Or looking at your profile. Yeah.
Because I'm desperate for a feature where I can look at enemy items. Because sometimes I get owned and I'm just like, what? I want to know more.
Yeah, it would be super nice if that was available on the replay. Just be able to see like, oh, what were people using in that specific game? And if you could check that in your match history, that's new wish list feature for me right there.
Yeah, yeah. Kai, you have written here that you don't know what band to use?
Yeah, so speaking of getting flamed for what items you're picking, muscle band and focus band, I feel like it's like a battle between those two, and people who say muscle band or people who say focus band. And like, I don't know, which band do I choose?
The battle of the bands.
The battle of the bands. Which band? Again, I play primarily Eldegoss, so that's where this comes in for me. But for pretty much every Pokemon, I feel like it comes up at least once a stream when it's like, which band are you using? Is it muscle band? Is it focus band? And then there's like a heated debate about which band people think is better.
Well,
Like
Kai, you like muscle band on Eldegoss, right?
I'm using muscle band, and I'm using muscle band after that was like recommended to me, and I went and looked at the master Eldegoss players and saw a bunch of them were using muscle band. So then I'm using muscle band. I level up muscle band, great, love it. And then I've got Shot and some other people coming into the chat like, why aren't you running focus band? And I'm like, I don't know, why am I not running focus band?
I just have a question for you though. If you like muscle band so much, can you name 5 of their songs?
My God, that's such a terrible joke. The worst part is too, if you're like, oh, you like muscle bands. Actually, I have no band preference. I'm a follower, right? Like I'm a certified sheep. So I'm just trying to do what all the good players are doing so I can be a slightly good player as well. And then they keep I don't know what the meta choice is between these two.
They do keep changing it, which is great for the early health of the game. But I agree, the focus band, it's a little militant. It's a little cultish, even, you might say. Like they don't have good reasons for why, but you should.
You just need to do it. You just should do it. Well, we know our friend Shoddy Tuhati is a big focus band enthusiast, so he's pretty smart. So then I'm like, maybe I should switch. But then I look at these other Eldegoss and they're running muscle, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't switch. And I don't know, man. That's where I'm at. What?
Fast spell damage dealing abilities that deal a lot of little ticks of damage, so you get a bunch of triggers of Shell Bell, and then now that's not a thing. You can't actually do that because of how long the cooldown is. So I totally agree.
Running
Something
Shell
like
Bell.
What's up?
I miss running Shell Bell, but not even for that heal. I didn't even care about that heal. It reduces the cooldown of your abilities, and that's why I like Shell Bell, because I felt like I got more healing. But if I used Shell Bell in like present meta, I would get flamed. So can't.
Wait, how do you get? I want to know this. How did you get flamed? People can't look at your items, right?
Like on stream and stuff.
Oh, the chat. Okay.
Or looking at your profile. Yeah.
Because I'm desperate for a feature where I can look at enemy items. Because sometimes I get owned and I'm just like, what? I want to know more.
Yeah, it would be super nice if that was available on the replay. Just be able to see like, oh, what were people using in that specific game? And if you could check that in your match history, that's new wish list feature for me right there.
Yeah, yeah. Kai, you have written here that you don't know what band to use?
Yeah, so speaking of getting flamed for what items you're picking, muscle band and focus band, I feel like it's like a battle between those two, and people who say muscle band or people who say focus band. And like, I don't know, which band do I choose?
The battle of the bands.
The battle of the bands. Which band? Again, I play primarily Eldegoss, so that's where this comes in for me. But for pretty much every Pokemon, I feel like it comes up at least once a stream when it's like, which band are you using? Is it muscle band? Is it focus band? And then there's like a heated debate about which band people think is better.
Well,
like
Kai, you like muscle band on Eldegoss, right?
I'm using muscle band, and I'm using muscle band after that was like recommended to me, and I went and looked at the master Eldegoss players and saw a bunch of them were using muscle band. So then I'm using muscle band. I level up muscle band, great, love it. And then I've got Shot and some other people coming into the chat like, why aren't you running focus band? And I'm like, I don't know, why am I not running focus band?
I just have a question for you though. If you like muscle band so much, can you name 5 of their songs?
My God. That's such a terrible joke. The worst part is too, if you're like, oh, you like muscle bands. Actually, I have no band preference. I'm a follower, right? Like I'm a certified sheep. So I'm just trying to do what all the good players are doing so I can be a slightly good player as well. And then they keep I don't know what the meta choice is between these two.
They do keep changing it, which is great for the early health of the game. But I agree, the focus band, it's a little militant. It's a little cultish, even, you might say. Like they don't have good reasons for why, but you should.
You just need to do it. You just should do it. Well, we know our friend Shadi Tuhati is a big focus band enthusiast, so he's pretty smart. So then I'm like, maybe I should switch. But then I look at these other Eldegoss and they're running muscle, and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't switch. And I don't know, man. That's where I'm at. What band is it?
I did buy the focus band this week, and I got it up to 10 as part of my experiment. I love it on Blissey. I think that the whole I'm taking damage because you're taking damage and being tank a lot of the times for my Cramorant that's in the lane with me, it really is a pretty easy pick there. But I do love the slaps. Oh, those big hand slaps.
I'm running this back for a sec because it has been reported to me that Score Shield is a 6-second cooldown after it gets interrupted.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you, chat.
That's a
See, I knew that the whole time. I was just seeing if you guys knew.
Right. Testing them of their knowledge.
But talking about focus band and Blissey, that's one thing that I thought when I saw that, and I think I might have mentioned this last show, I'm not 100% sure, but if you would have a character with very high base HP and very low defenses, Focus Band is like the perfect item because it gives you defenses and it gives you healing based on your max HP. So that, to me, is like such a natural pairing. Blissey, Focus Band, it feels like they were made for each other, almost, just the way those stats line up really well.
Agreed.
I'm gonna have to play more Blissey.
I saw
after the patch.
I saw you posted a game on Blissey.
Yeah, so we played as a 5-stack. Mockery was there.
Oh, right.
We played a couple games as a 5-stack. So I'm like, if we're going to be a 5-stack, and I know that all of the players are competent and do things, this is the time to play Blissey. And it worked out fine. I had a good time. I still probably wouldn't play her with randoms last week, but now she just got buffed. So now do I have to try again? I don't know.
And we shall talk about that buff. We're also going to talk about Blastoise. But before we get into all that sort of news stuff, we do want to announce formally on the show here that we have fired up a Patreon for this show. Patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse is the #1 place to support this podcast, this show. And if you're enjoying it, well, we encourage you to help us out. $1 a show, whatever you can do. If you can't help out right now, that's fine. Show will always be free. And we really appreciate you leading up to that mobile release, retweeting us, sharing the show with your friends, getting that word out. But if you're really digging the show, you want to see it become more than this, such as we have a massive mailbag that we get through what we can. But we'd love to spend some time getting through that mailbag on special episodes, maybe once a month, maybe once a week. Those are the sort of things you can expect if you support the show over at patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse. Now, of course, there's going to be exclusive shows that'll only be for those supporters, like the AMA that'll happen once a month once we reach that goal. But here on this episode, we want to thank Corey P., the first patron to sign up, Walker T., Mason G., and our highest tier patron, Derek Y. Thank you for supporting the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, pals. I know a bunch of those names. Thank you.
Yeah. And I got all kind of ideas for stuff to do. You know, I was just spitballing ideas with Kai and Kyle the other day, talking about, we could take the unanswered questions that we haven't gotten to, and I could print them all out and put them on little slips and put them in a hat, and then draw them out, and we can get to the questions that we haven't gotten to yet. There's a whole bunch of little fun stuff that we're thinking about and talking about that it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. And you all can help us to budget that time for ourselves. Support this show if you want more Pokemon Unite content. We love making it. But moving on. Patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse. Blastoise is out. He is a defender, and he is a spammy good time.
I don't play anything other than healers, actually. But I don't play tanks, but I actually do enjoy playing him. So when I have to flex tank because nobody else wants to do it, Blastoise is my choice. He is the only of the defenders I've actually enjoyed, even Crustle, sorry. I like playing him, which is rare for me with a defender. I feel like I lack a lot of skill and knowledge because I don't play them very often, but it's a good time. Have you played him, Mockery? Have you tried?
I just, you guys are talking about him being a good time and being fun. And I'm like, maybe for the Blastoise player. Okay. Maybe for the person on Blastoise. As just a poor Crustle out here with my Rock Water matchup type. And as a Cinderace player with my Fire Water matchup type, I have not been having a good time. Matchups aren't real in this game, by the way, friends. Don't get confused. But regardless, the character seems kind of busted, in all honesty. I have been getting bullied a little bit here and there. The ultimate hits ridiculously hard. The character clearly has an insane skill cap because I remember seeing some YouTube clickbait thumbnail that was like, Blastoise has 17 hidden mechanics. And it actually seems to be true when I'm reading through the notes. Like, there's all these different things he can do. It feels like reading about Zed from League of Legends and various advanced Dota kits, all of the tiny little things this character can do. Just Street Fighter-esque levels of like, hold this input and do this thing, and it sets up this ability. And the whole time, I'm over here as Cinderace, like, I can auto attack. I've got some iframes every now and then, I'll do what I can. But oh man, that character. There's a phrase that has been uttered a little bit here and there in my Discord over the past week, which is Blastoise diff. GG Blastoise diff. They got the better Blastoise. It's been a journey so far.
There are absolutely a lot of hidden mechanics here, and we're gonna go through all of them today. I don't need to praise a game that was made for people to purchase the Pokemon directly so that you'd want them, so that it could be for controller. However, I'm gonna take that moment. I really do think that this character exists so much better in a world where we are playing on controller. I would not want to do these things on keyboard and mouse, particularly when it comes to the rapid spin combo stuff. It's just so much more enjoyable in like a fighting game, slamming buttons kind of style.
I'm not a rapid spin enthusiast, but I do kind of feel that with Surf, right? So I didn't know this was a hidden mechanic. I don't know how I read between the lines and just assumed this right off the bat. But with Surf, you surf in the direction, and then at the end of your surf, you can reposition and go any direction you want, and you get like a little double jump at the end. I don't know how. I just knew that right at the start, but that feels really good on the controller with the joystick, right? Because you surf in and then you can slam out, or you can surf in and you can go deeper. I don't know. It has very like almost like a car game feel where you just really feel like I don't know. It feels very satisfying.
It's something that didn't have to be there. You could have just planted your butt right at the end, and now that's where you live. But the jump is actually rather substantial, and you can jump in front of them and then try to push them back. Or just surf and be like, okay, there's the CC, everybody, I'm out. And you jump pretty far back again if you just wanted to, participate in that way. Maybe not the best defender play. Let's dive in.
I was gonna say there's a lot to think about, and I just can't relate. I haven't even touched the character yet. Maybe I need to buy him, write it off on my taxes as a business expense.
Exactly.
I need to get with it.
So let's talk about one of the, there are some of these that are like, oh, nice feature, like the surf thing. That might be something that you kind of wonder, hey, how did I end up here? Oh, that's a really cool feature. Well, I'm really happy they gave that to me. But then there are things that are just straight up hidden, and I'm not entirely sure they're supposed to exist, or maybe they got forgot about in design and they'll be edited out later, such as the basic attack. It is a special attack, so your special items are going to help out with your boosted attack every third. It slows, it damages, but it has the hidden feature that it lowers cooldowns, all the cooldowns that you have, except for, of course, Unite ability, by about 1 second. And you don't have to hit an enemy to make this happen. You could just stand in the middle of nowhere saying, hey, Zapdos Feist is coming up. I'd like to have all my cooldowns for this. Let me just spam some autos.
Yeah, and you just start spraying the air and just, this wall looks like it could use some power washing. And then all of a sudden your abilities are coming back out of nowhere. That's
water
intuitive.
type. Yeah, you spread water around, it feels good. You want to lower your he's water type.
Yeah,
The water
maybe you yearn longingly to play Super Mario Sunshine yet again. And you just
Power
like
Wash Simulator is really popular. They just had a tournament, so I think he just wants to get in on that.
Really?
Power Wash Simulator. I know Farming Simulator has an esports scene, and there's actually a ban phase where
it was at Dragon Con. Power Wash Simulator had a live tournament, so I'm just saying.
That sounds so miserable.
No, apparently it was really fun.
Everyone has their enjoyments, but the fact that it has a tournament, I just assume it's nothing but optimizations, and someone getting in a game that's supposed to be relaxing, saying I should be doing my proper rotation on the porch, it drives me insane.
Well, that's what Squirtle wants to participate in with that cooldown reduction for the Power Wash. He wants to min-max the Power Wash, baby.
It's true. It was an earth-shattering moment for me in my life when I realized that you don't improvise recipes. Build orders matter in StarCraft. You're not a creative genius. People have figured out better things than you, and you should probably listen to them. But it still makes me sad sometimes.
Yeah, you got to learn why the rules are the rules, so that way you can break them later,
Exact. Purposefully break the rules.
Once you understand what they do and why they were made, then you can see the sort of corner situations that they don't really fully apply to, and how you can kind of skirt around them a bit. But you always got to learn.
Now you might know why your Squirtle is auto-attacking a wall. Now you know that's what's happening there.
And you thought your teammates were trolling.
Strategy, baby. That's what that is.
Squirtle or Blastoise features a passive Tauren, increase attack and special attack below 50%, which is probably where you're feeling quite a bit of that Unite power business, because you're going to get a big old shield, you're going to be surrounded, you're usually in the front, and if anything is going to be adapted outside of just, knocking down that big spin Unite that we'll talk about, I think this passive is the one responsible.
Yeah, you don't want to use your Unite move at full life unless you really have like a big reason, like you need the knock-up or something, but it feels super satisfying. Like you said, you surf in. I'm surf hydro pump. That's my lifestyle. So I like to surf in, hydro pump them back into my team, and then waddle in there a little bit, and then you're probably low health by that point, and then hit the Unite move and do the big spin. It's so much CC because all three of those things CC'd, and then it's a ton of damage too.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this, and you have a very large health pool as a defender, and then you've also got Buddy Barrier promising shields as soon as you ult, so it sounds pretty safe to reliably let yourself get below half and then use that bonus damage, depending on how impactful that is for your ults. I could definitely see that being a rather safe play, specifically because of that dynamic. You've got so much extra effective health power to work with that something like a Cinderace that I play with would not be able to play with fire as much, but it sounds like a good play. Like there honestly seems like a ridiculous amount of depth in Blastoise's kit compared to most of what we've seen so far.
Sometimes you even die pulling that maneuver, but you're taking everybody with you, and you've provided so much CC that your Cinderace is probably popping off in the back somewhere, because the enemy team has been CC'd at least 3 times just by you, and then anybody else who also provides CC and damage. You've disrupted everything they want to do, and you've made a ton of space. You're probably going to win that team fight. You might die for it, but it'll feel great when you do it.
The 1 or 3 abilities are Water Gun and Skull Bash, which are actually kind of surprisingly hard to aim if you've been playing other defenders, or maybe even some quicker abilities out there. But, of course, they go away rather quickly. Water Gun shoots water that displaces, shoves, and slows opponents. This can hit multiple enemies, not just the first one hit. But it has a hidden mechanic that the closer they are to you, the further they will be pushed. And while it's not spot on exactly, you could think of it as they'll always be pushed to the maximum distance that you see that water traveling. So if they're in your face, they'll be pushed all the way back with the graphic. If they're on the edge of it, they'll only be pushed to the end of the graphic.
I find the Squirtle phase in particular this is my biggest and possibly only problem playing this character. To me, like all of the 3-stage evolution characters, he's so weak as Squirtle.
Yeah.
I don't like being Squirtle. I'm terrified all of the time. And Skullbash gives me this false sense that I can go in and do things. And it's like, actually, no, you can't actually do things. If you Skullbash into 1 or 2 people, you're probably just dead because he's like the little baby Charmander or the little baby Gibble or the little baby Ralts. They're not good at anything. So I feel really awkward as the tank, often the only front line. And I'm like, not for a while, I'm not. like the HOTS equivalent of Varian before level 4. I'm just like, don't look at me, I'm a lane minion.
Yeah, he doesn't really do much before that point. And it reminds me of what Shot was telling us about the dominant lane combo of just ultimate pressure upon the lane with Snorlax Cramorant. And it's not a coincidence that both of those characters are fully evolved at level 1. They don't have any huge power spikes that they're looking forward to, at least not in terms of evolution. They are just already applying just a crazy amount of pressure, ready to immediately take advantage of the enemy. Dwebble, Scorbunny, Ralts, whatever have you they're laning up against. So that was actually one of the first questions we ever got on the show, was like, oh, how much does evolution impact power level? And that definitely seems like a big aspect of it. If you're fully evolved right at the start, huge early game power.
Yeah, it's like Lucario too. Like Lucario is going to beat almost anybody like in the bottom lane. If there's a Lucario on the enemy team, I'm like, well, say goodbye to Wildfire Farm.
And it's no coincidence that Shot plays it every game. Like I went and looked at a VOD of his trying to learn about the Crustle strat, and all I could find was Crustle Lucario as far as the eye could see. Every single game, and it's clearly working for him.
I found Skullbash was best as like a runaway. It can go over walls.
Yep. I have a hard time remembering that because I cue it and I feel like I'm Blastoise and I have to remember that I'm in fact Squirtle. And yes, Skullbash is for running away. He's so small.
Level 5, you gain access to Hydro Pump or Water Spout, which are not the same thing. Hydro Pump shoots a large jet of water that displaces opponents. So basically, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, this might be my water gun replacement in that way. Hidden, though, closed use, the closer it is, the further they push back. So very much like your water gun. However, all these things might change completely when you get to Rapid Spin. And that's where you might be making a choice here that's different at 5. Your Water Spout creates a spout of water that slows opponents. And this kind of reminded me of the Stealth Rocks business. Oh, you seem to be suddenly muted for me.
Okay, it wasn't just me. Oh, I thought it was just me. I was like, oh no.
Kai always scared about having the audio issues.
Because I always do. So I'm like, oh no, what happened?
You know, I was just saying, as far as Stealth Rock could go, and it's just Stealth Rock, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't gonna actually shot the entire time that we were on there. But there is but one stealthily, cleverly hidden rock. And
which is crumbling
to be honest,
above us.
Yes. It's they take it, they crush it up into a bunch of little pieces, and they Salt Bay it. You remember that guy, Salt Bay?
Oh, how could I forget?
Yeah, and dropping it onto the spot right there.
He's got a name.
I'm talking about
what's going on there.
Oh, he's got a name. I don't. If you asked me if
he has a whole restaurant you can go to, and it's super expensive, but you can have him come Salt Bay your food while you're eating it.
Oh, yeah, so, he does the thing.
So it's basically like the BAM guy. It's just it's his gig. It's not really.
Maybe I'm showing my age here. I just turned 24. I have no idea who the BAM guy is. Like Viva La BAM, or what are we talking?
No, it's Emerald Lagasse.
Oh,
he was a
Emerald.
Yeah, he would go bam and he'd throw the seasoning in.
Who calls Emerald the BAM guy?
People who don't know his names like me.
That was his whole thing.
Okay, apparently I'm just not fully with it. I am so sorry by much older and wiser friends here.
Much older, thank you.
No wiser, just older.
Probably not. My grandpa loved Emerald Lagasse, though. I've seen so much Emerald.
both of these abilities are just increase damage, so there's not anything too special going on. For the most part, you'll be picking the type of damage that you want, perhaps, but that all kind of changes when we get to 7. So this is where I will not read them both at the same time. It gets a really big divide on it. So Surf, the one we talked about earlier, summon a rideable wave of water that displaces and stuns enemy opponents in its path. The upgrade gives you a shield on impact, and the hidden sort of text on it is that using your left control stick allows you to determine which way you hop off the wave. The graphic forecasting the wave is also considerably longer. Wait, the spell effect is longer than the graphic. So
right, it looks shorter than it is.
It's your whole screen.
Yeah, it's huge. I'm a surf enthusiast. It's huge. I love that. So you can use it to run away is really great because you can surf away and then you get your extra little hop at the end to get you even farther. You can, the way I like to use it is surf to engage. So you displace everybody and then you can either hop further behind them and use that to set up that hydro pump to push them into your team. Or if you realize you surfed in and you kind of hecked up, you can use that hop to start your escape, to start the motion away. I really like the hop at the end of the surf. I haven't played much of the other Pokemon that have surf. Like I've never played like Greninja. I know every surf is a little bit different, but I really like the hop. The hop is very helpful for your positioning after surfing to decide what you need to do.
A helpful hop. I agree.
Helpful hop.
Though that shield that doesn't happen until you've upgraded it much, much later.
Right.
Is kind of a big deal because originally I was thinking, wait, shield on a Unite ability. Surely there's a shield somewhere on this base kit. I might be able to do some Crustle tomfoolery. However, Crustle is still king of the score shield tomfoolery because this particular shield is just way too late to make use of in that way.
Yeah, it's too late, and it's not a huge shield either. It's more to keep you alive when you engage hard with the surf.
Yeah, as Crustle, you're fully evolved at level 4, and you get Shell Smash at level 4. So, like, literally just as the first bees are spawning, I'm often going behind the enemy team and sneaking in my first turn in already just... I say to myself, I don't remember what cartoon it's from. I think The Simpsons. It begins. I say that to myself every time I hit level 4, and I just I'm already knowing like, oh, I just hit my power spike. Good luck having fun stopping all these turn-ins.
Now I am a rapid spin enthusiast, where you retreat into your shell and change your attacks while you become unstoppable. The upgrade on this is that your defense is up. So important note: even though you're in your shell at base level, you are not more defended until you eventually get to the upgraded version of the ability. But this ability does a lot of hidden things. One, it preps a boosted attack for when you pop out of it. It resets cooldowns on your Hydro Pump or Water Spout, your other button available. So, of course, use your ability before you go into the shell, and then you'll have another one to use. And now it's just completely different. In particular, Water Spout needs you to hold down the button in order to do continual water spouting out the sides. You also spam.
That's intuitive.
It does have a little ring around
that one's
it.
crazy. That's a crazy hidden ability. Like, what?
That's something that I would not find out like a month into playing the character. And then I would stream it and my chat would immediately be like, Mockery, what have you been doing this whole time? How have you not seen this? That is exactly how that would play out on my own channel.
It does have a little like tracker that goes around it, and you might be able to, but mostly it just looks like the saddest little kerplunk splash that could ever exist. You just hit the button once and it's like just out the side. Saddest little thing ever. And you might go, wow, I'm never ever doing rapid spin plus water spout again. You gotta hold that button. But at the same time it's happening, you can also continue to basic attack. So you're holding down your buttons. In this case, it would be your right button while also spamming attacks, and you still have a boost attack. So every third attack is going to be a bigger basic attack. So when you see him spinning and just water's flying everywhere, this is a rapid spin water spout build. Hydro Pump, not as thrilling. it's going to be a little bit of pushback in an area around you, and it's not that huge. At least I found it disappointing compared to the amazing water show.
I can boosted attack water spout, and then rapid spin, which resets my boosted attack and resets my water spout, and then hold water spout down during rapid spin for more spouts while simultaneously auto attacking during water spout.
Correct.
And I can auto attack during rapid spin's water spout? Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yes. So there will be a lot of water flying.
Okay, makes perfect sense. I just wanted to make sure as I read this novel of the things you can do during rapid spin that it wasn't my small brain failing to comprehend, and that it really is just that busted. Okay, thank you.
It's spammy. My horrible excuse for it being imbalanced and me enjoying my time this week is that it does take a little bit of finger gymnastics to pull off. But honestly, you've probably played worse before. You've probably had to climb.
No, I mean, I played Quake, and I remember getting into Quake in my collegiate esports program, and our Quake guy was like, "All right, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna bind jump to right click, and you're gonna bind aim into mouse or to space bar, and you're gonna do all this other stuff, and you're gonna hold your hand like this, and this is the optimal position. This is nothing. All right, we got this."
Very similar, I would think. The Unite ability is Hydro Typhoon. Spin and blast water in all directions, shielding you and pushing all opponents outward. This does do a knock up, so it's pretty big control. It's pretty big damage. And like I said, I think a lot of this damage is coming from that 50% HP or lower buff you get. But you also just get a big old shield out of it.
It's a ton of damage, and it can feel so funny because like I'm surfing in and I'm doing stuff, and then everybody focuses you because you're in the middle of their team. You start to get a little low, and then it's time, and you do the big spin, and it can do, especially if you're low, it can do so much damage. I think it surprises people how hard it will just chunk. I have one I took out that I'm going to put on TikTok. It's not there yet, but I'm going to do it. It'll probably be there by the time this is on the podcast thing. And I think I killed 3 people with one spin. They thought they could 3v1 the Blastoise. And they probably could under most circumstances, but in this case, they could not. It's very funny. It's good for CC though, too, right? Like if you do it in the middle of their team, that's a 5-person knock-up that can set up a lot of things for your actual damage dealers to work with as well as a lot of displacement.
Yeah, that's a guaranteed solar beam for your Venusaur right there.
There you go.
Like I think I've said it before, but I think Pokemon Unite, well, just in general, for any major MOBA, first of all, one of the biggest sort of divides between amateur players who've just played the ladder all day, they've played online all day, and actual competitive players in these team MOBAs is their ability to work with each other in terms of their abilities and their ability to focus the same target. And I think that that's going to be a huge thing as well, even bigger in Pokemon Unite, because that's a little bit harder to do in Unite with the auto-targeting of all your attacks. But just like I said with somebody like Venusaur, it's a very feast or famine ability that you have in Solar Beam, I think is what it's called, where you're either hitting it or you're not, for the most part. And whether or not you're hitting it depends on whether or not you're following up on your tank. And so having massive team-wide CC that holds everybody in place for that long, that short of notice, and deals that much damage in the process while also making you tanky, oh, that's going to be nuts. And it just gives your teammates endless possibilities to follow up on. Just everything I look at this kit, I'm just like, this character rewards knowing a bunch. It rewards having a lot of muscle memory and practice, and like Kyle said, getting used to whatever weird finger combinations you got to do. The teamwork is just off the charts. I don't know. I look at this character and I'm like, I kind of want to buy him, and I'm like 500 gold away too. Haven't broken down and gotten out my wallet yet, but sometimes some of these characters are tempting, and this one right here, I want to get him before he gets nerfed. This character looks kind of insane.
I broke out. I got gems. I got my bonus gem for the gem combo first purchase thing. Like, yeah, I bought Blissey.
Did you not have the battle pass?
No. I haven't gotten the battle pass.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Or what?
It's so convenient. I'm getting like I finished my battle pass, got that Captain Cinderace baby.
Congratulations.
And now I'm getting like about 100 tickets every day just from like the excess, like, oh, you finished.
Yeah,
the battle
you're
pass,
giving
here are
up
the
on
extra
so many
chests.
tickets and so many item enhancers. Like,
Yeah, and I still don't have as many tickets as I want, and I've gotten a nuts amount through the battle pass.
I think I'm gonna purchase it for sure.
You might want to wait for the next one, depending on how it goes, because we might be close to the end of the first one. It's a little unclear since we're close to the end of the first half of season 1, I think.
Oh wait, is this not
does it work like other battle passes
Yeah.
where even when you buy it late, you get everything you would have previously earned? Isn't that how most battle passes work?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't really know what's going on there.
My experience with battle passes in other games is there's a free version and a paid version, right? And as you progress along the free version, if you change your mind and want to dip into that paid one, you'll get everything up to where you were. That's how it works in like Fork Knife. That's how it, yeah. I assume that's how it would work. Yeah, Fork Knife. That's how it works there.
Yeah, I need to be motivated by that disappointment. Like that's my battle pass.
The FOMO, yeah.
Yeah, like
you gotta look and see what you could have had if you just paid $3.99 or whatever it is. If you just for the low price, you could have all of these things.
Right, but then you look at it and you say, I'm not that far along. Next season's my season. I do this all the time in Magic the Gathering. I'm like, I didn't actually get that far in it. I'm not gonna worry about it this season. But this one, I'm gonna look at the end of it, and unless it's some sort of percent multiplier, that'd be sad. But usually the battle pass, you look at it later and you go, ooh, look how far I am. And look at all the rewards that would await me today. And maybe that's...
The team fight tactics gets me every time where I'm like, I'm not going to buy the battle pass. And then I see like a cute pink board. Like that's what it always is. There's one board that's pink and cute. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to have that.
Yeah, the little pets that like hang out in the corners of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, there's like a little legend that you're like, oh my God. So TFT gets me every time with their battle pass. I'll just be like, I'm fine with the free one. I don't play TFT that much. I'm not going to get that far. And then I'll see it. And it's like, well.
That's my plan. That's my plan.
Yeah. This one I just bought right at the start because I knew.
It's smart choice. And then you feel all the rewards along the way. I like the big meal. You can snack along the way, but I like everything all saved up. I like opening 20 loot boxes at once rather than one at a time. It's just my thing. It's just my thing.
In this game, you know what? I saved up 30 of the whatever energy tanks. Is that what they're called? The loot boxes. You can only open 30 in a day. 30 is the maximum you can open a day. So I saved up 30 and I'm like, I'm going to open them all. It'll be really fun. It was not fun because it's so many just duplicate socks.
Oh boy, clothing tickets.
Yeah, it was very underwhelming. I was like, maybe I don't ever do this again.
That's fair. That's fair. Your mileage may vary when it comes to loot boxes based on how maybe deep the system is, how many items there are available.
So many duplicate socks. It was not as exciting as you would think.
I mean, I'm sporting some capris still. I really need some thrilling socks, but I've talked about that before.
Touching on these duplicates, there's actually one thing also. One of the rarer rewards that you can get out of the battle pass after you finish the whole thing is that it can give you the Pokemon Hollowware tickets that you can go use in the Zergo exchange. So just off the tickets I've been getting from the end of the battle pass, I can go out and buy some of the basic skins. And if I keep playing and keep getting them at the rate I'm getting, I might be able to get even some more of the more like expensive bougie ones, like the giant berry Snorlax and all that. So like
I messed up so bad when the Eldegoss Hollowware came out with bows. I slam bought it with gems. I didn't even look to see if you could buy it with the tickets, and you can, and I had enough.
All those skins that you see, you just finish the battle pass and you'll be able to buy them. It's so crazy.
So definitely use your eyes and look first, because a surprising number of skins you can buy with the tickets that you get from the battle pass or from duplicate socks.
Oh yeah, it's just like I talked about first episode, the treasure hunt with one particular unnamed
menus inside of
store.
menus. Yeah,
they just have you go around looking, and if you just dig, you'll find stuff, and that's how they get you. And it's definitely something that's rewarded here, man. I'm telling you, stay on top of those battle pass dailies. I'm like kicking myself because I missed about a week of them so far, and I'm like, ooh, I could have that berry Snorlax, I could have this or that. I'm so close. So don't make the same mistake I did, chat.
The cautionary tale for mockery. As for what kind of items people are putting on their Blastoise out there, Score Shield, I'm not feeling it. I think it's maybe a lack of mobility just compared to when you take Crustle for a ride. You're gonna feel the lap of luxury that comes with Score Shield, and maybe it's just too much disappointment for anybody else under the sun right now. But I wasn't feeling the Score Shield. Buddy Barrier though, great, and I found Focus Band to be very useful.
That's just kind of the trifecta right now, right? That everybody seems to be running on tanks, the Score Shield, Buddy Barrier, and what was the other one I'm missing? Focus Band.
Yeah, I definitely running Buddy Barrier. I've had mixed results with Score Shields on Blastoise. Part of it maybe could be because in the early game especially, he's so weak and small. So I feel like I don't get anything out of it until Blastoise in the first place, and he doesn't have as convenient of shielding as Crustle does, maybe, I don't know. But I've definitely had mixed feelings about Score Shield on Blastoise. I struggle.
Don't really feel like I'm kind of up there just getting all the points, and I'm certainly not jungling and that's kind of where I end up like really feeling that max cap of Aeos energy happening.
Nox is barking. He's like popping off. I'm trying to not.
Yeah,
it's dog bark day apparently.
Angry dog issues at the moment, but I don't know, man. I'm just looking at all this, and I feel like constantly I'm just a little bit short, you know. Like I'm just still over here trying to max out my Score Shield. Kyle isn't super high on it right now, and I'm over here like, oh, it's level 17. And then that means I'm only getting 7.5% max HP shielding off of my Score Shield every time I turn in instead of 10%. I'm missing out on 2.5% of my shield of every time that I try to turn in. And so every time I get barely interrupted, I'm like, oh, if I just had level 20 Score Shield, it could have been so different. And then now everybody's talking about Focus Band, and I'm like, I don't even have that one yet. Maybe it's level 1. Like, I'm just trying to keep up with everything right now. There's so much to do, but they're still not going to get me. All right, I'm not opening up my wallet just yet.
Sure, well,
that's where I'm at. I finished off Score Shield, and now I have to have Focus Band now. So that's what I'm working on trying to level. I think mine's like level 14 or something, and I'm like,
and yeah, we're all just waiting for those end of season 20,000 tickets. Now that Kai's hit Master 2, you know, we're both ready for it.
I can see that. Yeah, I think that'll, well, who knows what balance will be like, and who knows what sort of nefarious balance may happen to make the item we're not thinking about amazing again. You'll want to upgrade that. Or
they're going to add a new item somewhere down the line.
Oh God.
Or they're going to rework the items. Oh man, and then Aeos Cookie will be all the rage. And we'll be completely missing out on that.
Sometimes it is. Blissey, Aeos cookies are happening. Leftovers are quite popular, at least according to the masterful reports that you see in the screen. So I'm holding back. Everything's 10 at the moment. I'm holding off. We'll see what
economical.
Happens. Yeah. But again, you know, wait, and then big pile of the presents. No presents on Christmas Eve for me. I want them all Christmas Day. Looking at the pre-registers that have been happening in the background, they did hit their goal of 5 million pre-registers for Pokemon Unite and added a new goal of 7.5 million.
Ooh, what's the goal at 7.5 million again?
Tickets. They're going to be giving away some more tickets.
Oh yeah, perfect. That makes sense. You know, maybe they didn't think they'd hit that many pre-registers, and they're like, "Oh man, tickets! You know, let's throw some tickets at them since we can't promise any new skins or anything like that."
This will be 1,000 tickets should they reach their goal of 7.5 million pre-registers. But it's really quite showing that even though we have awesome queue times, which are just the best, 15 seconds max at the moment for me. There's going to be a pretty... I think Switch players will be the rarity by a huge amount.
Man, I'm nervous for it too, because we're building up like muscle memory and stuff now, playing all the time, every day on our controllers or Switch or whatever. If playing on mobile is going to be better, which it probably will be mechanically, we're gonna have to just like relearn the whole game all over again.
And how exciting at the same time.
No,
it may make you nervous, but it's an opportunity, you know?
man, I'm old. I have a small brain.
Fresh.
I can only take so much new information, okay?
Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
Okay, so just so everyone is aware of the amount of rewards you're going to get. So if you pre-register for mobile, right now they've got you get Pikachu for free. And the way Unite licenses in the past have worked is whenever you get a license to play a certain character that you already own, you get the cost of that character in gold refunded to you. So I would assume the same thing will happen here. There is a festival-style holoware for Pikachu, a very nice-looking skin, and a total of 2,000 tickets. If we reach the 7.5 million pre-registrants, which right now we're only at 5 million, so maybe hop in on that. I already have. You know, like, I'll take a free 2,000 tickets.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, I want that level 20 score shield, baby. I'm doing what I can.
It's your same account. You don't have to like make a new account. You what will happen is you will download the game on your phone, and then when you log in, it'll have a thing to link your Nintendo account from your Switch, so you can play on either or interchangeably. And you'll need to do that to collect those first bonuses, because they're for phone, and then you can go right back to your Switch if you want to, or keep playing on phone, or you can play it some days on Switch and some days on phone. It doesn't matter. It's the same account. So there's no worry about losing your progress or anything. It's all the same.
Yep, and they've been saying on their website since before the Switch version even came out that it will be cross-play between them. Now, whether that means that we won't be able to enable or disable cross-play, if it's an always-on thing or whatever, I have no idea. But there is going to be cross-play, at least in some form or fashion, between the two platforms that we already know about.
The crazy thing is, too, that there are this many pre-registers, and they still don't have all regions. Looking through the tweet chain here, people are noting Costa Rica, Latin America, Bangladesh. Like
all of Latin America can't pre-register?
That's what I'm seeing. Multiple
posts. That's a huge base of people.
Right. Indonesia? Yeah, okay, yeah. So there's
you've got...
I wonder why.
I don't know. There's always some kind of like, red tape you got to go through and whatnot, and this and that. When you're talking about doing different things for different regions and different teams you got to communicate with. Right. I remember Heroes of the Storm, we had issues with them leaking upcoming content because they had all these different social media teams that they had to coordinate with around the globe. And it's like, all right, everybody is dropping this content at the same time for this time. So everyone's at a different time in their time zone. And that would always mean that, inevitably, the Heroes of the Storm account for some country on the other side of the world would drop theirs a little too early and leak it, because there's all these different sorts of, teams that you have to communicate with and whatnot.
Now, I'll say it. The leakers were always the French HGC players. It was always, not even just EU, it was always a French. There were like 2 or 3 players who were notorious, because the HGC players and some streamers and stuff usually got information early via like press kits and stuff. Okay. And there was always a couple French players that would just show it on their streams or talk about it on Twitter. And it tilts me to this day. The number of NDAs I signed and like the legal action we were threatened with if we leaked stuff early, and then the French players just did it anyway, and now always wanted to fight.
You hear that, French players for Heroes of the Storm?
You know who you are. You know who you are. You know exactly who this is directed at.
Meet us at TwitchCon 2027 when it opens back up. Let's go.
There's also Netflix has like a different version in Canada, and there's all sorts of weird stuff that happens. But I also remember that, I mean, if we're talking like HGC heyday, which was forever ago, 2017, things were entirely different. I remember when Rod Slasher, a gaming journalist back in like StarCraft days, would just leak things regardless of NDA because it was part of his journalistic duty. Now, of course, no. a lot
We're getting into some spicy topics
Oh.
here. All right.
Oh yeah,
I'm
oh
here
yeah.
for it.
The wild west of the internet in the past, but of course we also talked about, exchange of information, how we learn things nowadays, talking about World of Warcraft back in the day, a thought bot being the most useful thing available to you. So how the internet has changed. And
Wowhead has a Thoughtbot skin if you just want the nostalgia. It can look like Thoughtbot.
perfect.
Yeah, I remember hearing about Thoughtbot the first time for World of Warcraft back when I was watching Jimmy, a World of Warcraft story with the gnomes back in like 2008. Am I just, is this too esoteric of a reference? Am I digging too far back, a decade and a half back?
I don't remember a gnome named Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jimmy, a gnome story. Okay. Oh, look, the YouTube video is perfectly square.
Yeah, that's how you know it's
There you
old. Way back in the day, before we all had our fancy 16:9 resolution monitors.
Yes, I watched something very much like this where they sang, wasn't Barbie Girl, but everyone made music videos. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like Illegal Danish?
Yes.
Yeah. You had all the machinima and all that, and 10-year-old.
Will you join my guild? Join my guild? I remember that. Yeah. I remember the "Will you join my guild" from Illegal Danish. That's a classic.
Yeah, I was all over that. All the WoW parodies and the singing and whatnot, and trying to keep up with those people into the modern day. Some of them are still around making content. Some of them, not so much.
Are you gonna tell that story?
Nope.
Maybe we'll save it for our AMA over at patreon.com.
There you go. That'll be on Patreon exclusive.
Ask me about the forbidden story on our Patreon AMA, and I'll go into further details.
Perfection. There is the announcement of the first official tournament. However, it is Japan only. You have to be a resident, or at least at the very least, you have to be able to speak and write, and you have to be over 16 to enter.
Feels Nintendo, man.
Yep. This will be a standard battle on remote stadium with 256 teams participating. That's going to happen on September 19th. So we're actually going to
gives us enough time to fly in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You have to be able to read and write and speak Japanese, though.
It's actually part of the
one
rules.
audience member that can do that for the team. And then we just need one more person after that, and that's 5. Let's go.
That's fair. Either way, this will give us a pretty good idea of kind of what the meta is, right? Leading up to that mobile release, which will be 3 days later.
But I wonder if there will be regional differences in meta. In other MOBAs, NA and EU tend to play very differently. Korea is playing a whole different video game. They're on a level that none of us can aspire to. So I wonder how that will feel with Unite as well. We're going to watch the first tournament, which is all Japanese players. It might look totally different than what we're playing in NA.
I know it's popular to call us Americans lazy, but we do tend to have metas that revolve around CC. More so than other regions. We desperately want things held nice and still while we aim our abilities.
What will be the NA arrow of Pokemon Unite, I wonder?
So for our listeners that have no idea what an NA arrow is, as we continue to drop our esoteric references, the arrow for Dragon's Arrow for Hanzo in Heroes of the Storm is a global range ultimate ability where you just free aim an arrow and chuck it, and it can go all the way across the map, increasing in damage and stun time as it travels. And of course, NA players from the North American region in Heroes of the Storm were absolutely infamous for chucking these arrows into the wilderness. They did not hit anyone. And
I work in esports though, and I work on a lot of games, not even just MOBAs, right? I work on card games, I work on all kinds of games, and there is an NA arrow for every game, right? The NA is just the butt of a lot of jokes, and NA arrow is my favorite from HOTS. But League has their NA arrows, like Hearthstone, Teamfight Tactics, everybody's got their NA arrow. So I'm just wondering what the Unite NA arrow is going to be. Oh, it could be, the big ball flying.
Oh,
It's so easy to dodge. I feel like Lucario,
NA
if
Lucario,
you can ult out of a bush, you want to. Like ulting out of bushes is a huge element of every MOBA, but especially in Unite where your ults are so easy to dodge. Well, I'm talking about Greninja and I'm talking about Lucario when I say that. Like ulting out of bushes seems mandatory.
That I feel like that is a good choice.
Yeah.
NA Lucario, I'm ready.
I think a competitor is that NA Water Burst Shuriken from the Greninja, but yeah, you picked it. You picked it.
The big ball, him just shooting it out and missing the entire team fight and it hitting nobody. That's gonna. There we go.
I guess there could be an
I'm
NA
ready.
Talonflame. That one's kind of aimed and.
Oh yeah, when he flies in and tries to grab a bunch of people and nobody's there, that could be good. That's a good contender.
Yeah, that
NA Solar Beam also
really
seems
bad.
like it could be a good one.
So Talonflame ult has the same problem as Cassia's Valkyrie from HOTS, whereas the smallest blade of grass in the way, the smallest piece of terrain will hook you and in your Talonflame ult and just stop you from progressing at all. So if there's even a hint of corner or any kind of wall, forget about it. It's useless. And I've noticed that because I played a lot of that character after getting the pilot Talonflame skin. I got really lucky out of the Aeos generator thingy. But that was definitely the big letdown. It was like, oh boy, huge ult, and there was a wall half a centimeter to the side, and it blocked me entirely. So definitely a lot of potential to just whiff.
We need to.
Well, now we all know when you start seeing people whiffing ults like that, just throw in the NA Talonflame, NA Unite move. Yeah, that's you gotta get on that. We gotta get that meme going.
You can't spell Talonflame without NA. You got it right there. Easy.
Oh, good pasta.
What was it on the old Colbert Report show? He had like lists that he would update as he went, like the worst of the worst, best of the best. So what we need is to maintain, Excel doc, and even on the website, we'll start an NA list and we'll keep it ranked. And as things become more NA than other NA abilities, we'll make sure it's good and ranked through the top 5.
Man, nobody talks smack about NA like NA players. Let's go.
Self-depreciation.
I just know that it's coming, so I just want to be ahead of the curve. I want to have my memes ready because it's gonna happen. So I just want to be.
What did the guy from Game of Thrones say? You take what the world laughs about at you and you use it as your armor. Yeah, I don't remember his name right now. The Lannister guy.
Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah.
Shame, really. Fun show. Wonder what happened to it. Let's do some emails.
It's super weird how it didn't have a last season.
I know.
Yeah, season 7, just like 2 episodes in, just stopped. That's so weird.
Super
strange. It's weird when you feel like something should have been made, like a live action Avatar movie, but then nothing ever happened. I don't know. It's just strange.
Our first email comes from Taraz, who says, in the current ranked meta, do you think items like special attack, specs, Aeos cookie, or attack weight have their place?
Yes, I will say this. I consistently will check the top master player, whatever builds for every character that I'm playing. And very consistently, I've noticed that the top Talonflames, at least since last time I looked, the top Talonflames have multiple turn-in items. And I'm wondering, what's that about? With specifically that character? Is it because you have Fly that enables you to escape after turn-in so effectively? Is it that Fly enables you to secure the position in the first place? Regardless, I've seen a lot of Talonflames, in particular, the top-rated Talonflame players using some of these items, and I recommend going into the game and checking out those builds, seeing whether or not I'm full of it or whether this is still the case. But I know it was in the past, and the fact that some characters right now, for their top-rated players, are already running these items, and anything can change in the future, and our perceptions can change, the numbers can change through patches. In my opinion, there is almost definitely a place for these items just off that information that we already have.
I see special attack specs on Gengar. Does Talonflame do jungle? Is that what you do?
Talonflame is typically a jungler, yes.
Okay, so that makes sense because you would have that abundance and that 30 and the pressure to turn in. So you might as well get it where you can. Talonflame makes a lot more sense, though, like you said, ability to even jump over a wall to turn in.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. I just love the character. Honestly, I've talked about it before. The ability to use fly and go up in the air, yeah, it hits really hard, and yeah, it's got iframes and its mobility. But I just love that you get a decent camera angle for once. That is my number one complaint about the game, is that the camera is too zoomed in. So I use fly and I'm like, oh, I can see, you know? So I particularly enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. And I kind of want to see what these players are up to with these items. But like I already mentioned, I'm just over here trying to get my score shield and my focus band up. And those take precedence, right? Or those take priority for me right now. So unfortunately, the cookie, the attack weight, all of that, the specs, they're going to have to wait for right now for me.
I see cookies
You know
on
what
Blissey.
item I legitimately... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say I see cookies on Blissey, which makes sense because you have the healing. You push people forward after you win a fight. You turn in whatever you have, which is usually like 8, and then you run away. Go for it.
I was going to say the only item I feel like I've legitimately never seen is Energy Amplifier. Have you ever seen anyone use Energy Amplifier? After the Pokemon uses its Unite move, the damage the Pokemon deals is increased by 7% for 4 seconds.
And it goes up to 21% at level 20, I believe. But
never seen somebody use it. I'm out here looking for an Energy Amplifier user.
I believe I've seen them in use on Cramorant in particular. To my understanding, the Energy Amplifier, we talked about this on a previous episode. To my understanding, it actually is bugged to not increase your ult charge rate at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that kind of really limits.
All right, that would hurt it, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember someone else talking about a different item being more damage. Particularly, the other character that I would think to run Energy Amplifier on is Charizard, and someone else was telling me on Reddit, they were like, oh, it's actually more damage if you just go like Muscle Band or something like that, or maybe even Scope Lens. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, because Charizard's ult is a modifier of his auto attack. So the only character that I've seen that really incentivizes me to pick this right now is Cramorant. And even then, I'm not 100% sold on it, but we all know Cramorant's ult is basically total area shutdown, hits stupid hard. And if you can buff that by 21%, that still seems pretty good to me. Outside of Cramorant, I have a hard time justifying this item being picked.
I know the computer system recommends Energy Amplifier on Gengar, which makes sense. You'd engage with a big old, shadowy, swimmy thing, and then start just spamming away.
I just love turning into Michael Phelps every time I press Gengar ults. I just love swimming. I don't know, it's funny to me.
He's adorable. Our next question comes from Oogie, who says, what exactly do shields do? I'm new to MOBAs and not quite sure if they're extra health or what.
I think they discussed this at length in the Discord as well. I feel like this was in those questions discussion channel for like a full day. But yeah, essentially shields are extra health that go on top of your health. So when you take damage, when you have shields, they will go through the shields first and then go in to your actual hit points later. Visually, they're going to show up as white on the bar. If you're missing health, they'll go in the spot that health would be. And if you're at full health and then you gain shields, so that's like having extra health, they'll start overlapping your health bar, showing you how much damage you can take via shields before it starts eating into your actual health.
Cool.
Big life.
They do stack, and it's not affected by percent-based attacks, which the only one I know of here is going to be the Rocky Helm.
So what do you mean by that? What do you mean not affected by percent-based attacks? Do you mean those bypass shields, or what are we talking about?
So let's see here. Where's the... So the text of Rocky Helm is... When the Pokemon receives a certain amount of damage, damage is dealt to nearby Pokemon equal to 3% of those Pokemon's max HP. So one reason you might choose shields over a health buff in a video game would be because you're going to be attacked by percentage-based damage. So a shield, you have 1,000 health, you get a shield for 500, you will now receive 3% of 1,000, rather than increasing your health to 1,500, where that Rock Helm would actually deal more to you. So sometimes it's like a strategy thing, which is really interesting because of the Blissey buff that happened this week, which we actually didn't talk about here. They went through and changed up Safeguard. Previously removed all status conditions from the designated ally Pokemon and made it immune to hindrances for a short time. The upgrade on this was now gains a shield. So now Blissey's Safeguard, which is up against Healy Eggs, removes all status conditions from the user and designate ally Pokemon, grants both Pokemon a shield. So both Blissey and the Pokemon that you're helping out are getting the hindrances removed. And as long as that shield lasts that you now both have, you will be immune to hindrances. Cooldown went from 11 seconds down to 8 seconds too. So
I think that's a big buff. That's really huge, because it was sometimes hard to justify taking that because you're giving up your only heal, and having no heal is kind of sad, right? Her Unite move doesn't actually heal. It does a ton of things, but none of those things are actual healing. So if you didn't have the egg, you just didn't have any healing whatsoever. But shielding can be a lot like healing. It's preventing damage and preventing deaths in its own way. And I think that makes us much more attractive. Also, the shorter cooldown makes it much more attractive.
So this is where the shielding gets kind of interesting, because you're saying to yourself, do you want a bigger health pool with that shield with Safeguard, or do you need to top people up with Soft Boiled along the way? Blissey also received a slight special defense increase as well. We don't know the numerical values on that. That was the patch from today, actually, or midnight last night Pacific time.
Yeah,
I know there was a website we were looking at that had specific information about the patch notes. Even
I don't know
to,
if they've had time to. I don't know if they've had time to get it yet for this, though.
Yeah,
because it is based on community testing. But right now I'm just looking for the link just to see if they have anything added. I'm digging around for it at the moment.
We'd be relying
I think
on the powers of Reddit. So we'll take another question in the meantime. Multizord asks, what is a hollow skin theme that would make you immediately open your wallet?
I'm a sucker for skins, so if it's for a Pokemon I play, anything probably. So I'm kind of, Blissey doesn't have a Hollowware, so whatever they give Blissey, I'll probably buy, right? Ninetales doesn't have a Hollowware, so I'll probably buy it, whatever. One, though, for a Pokemon I don't really play that I would still buy because it would be awesome would be some of the food ideas for Crustle. Crustle as a lasagna, Crustle as a cake. I would buy that because it would be hilarious.
It looks like the official Pokemon site does give out stencils for carving pumpkins, which means
pumpkin Crustle, sure, yes.
Well, and there might be a chance of Halloween skins.
Ooh.
Because right now we're doing like this beach of Florida gambling hut Blastoise thing. But
mob boss Blastoise.
Yeah,
here.
They do have like a grandpa on the boardwalk kind of vibe going for the fashionable ones.
Yeah, I gotta kiss the ring to be able to play Blastoise and pull him into the game before I can bring him out.
So I see like on these stencils, there's like Ghost Pikachu, like Pikachu wearing the sort of, E.T. pillowcase over themselves. I'd be all for that.
That's not a Mimikyu, is it?
By the way, I just want to point out that the website I was referring to earlier, which is unite-db.com, does indeed have the patch notes. And I'm looking at the patch notes for Blissey from earlier today, and these are some massive increases to special defense. So it's impossible to say how much the special defense has increased just in general because it's a level by level difference. But at level 1, it looks like your special defense went from 30 to 130.
Damn.
And at level 15, it's looking like your special defense went from 149 to 310.
Whoa.
So your special defense more than quadrupled at level 1, and at level 15 more than doubled, according to unite-db.com.
What would be a defense on another defenseful Pokemon for reference?
Oh, let me go ahead and see if I can find that out for you.
And
Give
while
me
that
just
happens,
a moment.
Kai, you're absolutely right.
Really quick, is that the Pikachu you're talking about?
You were talking, there's like so there's like a sack Pikachu that's something completely different.
That's
Mimikyu. That's a Mimikyu. That's a whole different Pokemon.
Oh, I thought it was just Halloween Pikachu.
No, that's a Mimikyu.
stats here, friends, if we want to take a look at Blastoise really quick. So, for reference, before the patch, a Blissey at level 1 had 30 special defense. It now has 130 special defense. A Blastoise at level 1 has 70 special defense. So in between those two numbers. And then now, a level 15 Blissey has used to have 149 special defense. Now it has 310 special defense, so slightly over double. A level 15 Blastoise has 420 special defense. So Blastoise starts out a little bit lower than Blissey and then scales harder than her when it comes to the total amount of special defense. I can point to similar numbers. Crustle starts out with 67 special defense, so again, less than Blissey, and scales up into 400. I'm going to look at one more and then we'll call it there. Snorlax, similarly, I just said Crustle a second ago. Snorlax starts out at 67 and also scales up to 400. So what I'm seeing here consistently, if this is true on this website, is that Blissey starts up with much higher special defense than every tank, but then does not continue that same energy and scales into having slightly lower special defense as the game goes on.
That's pretty incredible. That's a lot of defense. I look forward to it.
So early game, assuming these numbers are accurate, early game Blissey should be much tankier into special attacks.
Okay.
And even in the late game, you have over double the special defense that you did late game, but you're not going to scale as excellently in terms of special defense as some of these tanks will. But I believe that's best of any non-tank. That's just my total conjecture, though. I've yet to dig through all the stats.
No, I mean, even so, like being 100 short, that's still a really solid amount the higher level you get.
Absolutely.
Bakri, I know you've been busy, but did you have a hollowware that would make you open that well-protected wallet?
If I had hollowware. See, the thing is, the one I was looking forward to the most was Captain Cinderace. That was the one that I was like, oh, I just want it. I'd have to take another look through it here, but that was my big one. And I really wanted the Pilot Talonflame. And guess what? I got the Pilot Talonflame. So if I had to pick a third one after all of that, it would probably have to be the Berry Snorlax. He is vibing. I am here for that energy of walking around as a gigantic citrus berry, just comically large, eating smaller citrus berries. That would have to be next up for me. What about you?
Well, but this was also like things that could exist. Like,
which ones do I want in the game? Oh,
we got Florida Lounge. We got pirates. We got berry themes.
Oh man, shows my lack of imagination. I thought you meant just which ones am I looking for in the game already. No, I definitely, we post, for those of you who are not in the Discord that listen to the podcast, almost every day, it seems like we post different images of Crustle with different items on its back as hollowware. So we've got like lasagna Crustle and, tiramisu Crustle and all of that. And I just would die for any single one of these skins. And, of course, I say that as someone that's been spamming Crustle. And the second that he gets nerfed, I'm going to turn into the kid from Toy Story that I don't want to play with you anymore. I know that's going to happen, but for right now, that's what's on my mind. Give me the lasagna. Give me the tiramisu. That's what I'm all about.
Vampire Gengar.
Ooh, I like it. Kind of like a little Dracula aesthetic. Is that what we're talking about?
Like if we're doing the pirate thing. So you got cowboys and I guess actually.
So I don't know if you've seen this because I don't know how much Pokemon Go you played, but Gengar has, it's not even just from Go either. There's plushies and all kinds of stuff. But Gengar has a Halloween skin that's like canon. Hold on, I'm going to get you a picture. Saying canon for this is the most ridiculous thing ever. But
mean when it comes to a Pokemon skin,
it has appeared in a couple of the Pokemon games, and there's also like official merchandise, like Nintendo makes plushies of this. So this I think would be a good skin. I mean, they've used it all around, right?
Oh, it's like patchwork Gengar.
Yeah.
See, you say to me canon Pokemon outfit, and the only thing that comes to mind for me is the Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, that's true too. That one is necessary because speaking of canon, here's the plushie
Squirtle
for it.
Squad
really...
shades. I specifically remember watching Detective Pikachu and there was a part near the end with like a pack of Squirtles just roaming the city, and I was like, why don't they have the shades? It would have been such free nostalgia points, you know? They could have cashed in on that. And so I sorely miss that every step of the way, and my hurt feelings can only be rectified by adding this to the game. Where are my shades at?
But see, he has a little plushie even.
No. Kai has linked a little plushie of this Gengar skin in our Discord chat, and it's totes adorbs, as the youth say.
So that's well established in the Pokemon, the universe of media.
Okay.
Is that Gengar wears this skin for Halloween? So come on, come on.
It's official. All right. I could get behind it still. You know, turn the little bat when you're doing your swim thing. You know, the little
that would be cute.
Jump out of the ground. You know, and it's classic Halloween. But I
support more skins in general. Like I want more variety. Just I want to see more fun things. I'm like that in every game that I play. The wackier, the funnier, the better.
And it's always fun over the years. I feel like there's this trend in the early days of MOBAs where the MOBA developer always says, okay, we don't want our skins to be too crazy. You still want to maintain the silhouette of the character and the iconic look of the character. There should never be any confusion about which character you're seeing. And then you fast forward like 7 years and all of that's just out the window. And it's like, yep, you can play as this crossover character from another game. And you look completely different. People have no idea what character you're playing. And I wonder if Pokemon Unite will follow a similar trajectory. Will we just start to see absolutely wacky Hollowware skins as they just give fewer and fewer hex as time goes on? It's something I'm really looking forward to seeing, because I literally expected there to be at minimum one Hollowware per Pokemon when the game came out.
Same.
And I was so surprised. I was like, this is the company that, you know, got huge off of merchandising their cute animals, and they don't want to immediately just dive into that pot of gold right at the start. So that caught me off guard. But the cadence, the flow of new skins has been pretty fast. So it's not really a big deal if we didn't have that many at the start, because based off how fast we're getting them, we know we're going to get like a bunch over time.
I mean, what if we got like Mario Cinderace?
Ooh.
You know, you got your flowers, you put the white hat on, you got the overalls, you're kicking fire. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you've got Cappy on.
Yeah.
Toad Eldegoss, right? Toad's got a big puff on his head. I've got a big puff on my head.
You hear that? We're just revving up the money printers in here, man.
This is free real estate.
Free real estate. Well, with that being free in real estate, I don't know. We're gonna head towards the end of the show. Thank you all for joining us today. If you'd like to know more about the show,
masterfully executed segue.
You know it. If you want to know more about the show, head over to KyleFerguson.com. 2 S's in Ferguson. You can find the RSS feed for the show, all the links to the various going-ons for Aeos Clubhouse. But of course, check out Patreon.com/Aeos Clubhouse. Thank you again to our early adapters, our early subscribers who are making this show possible for you at home. Kyberries, where can you be found across the internet?
Hi, I'm easy to find everywhere at Kyberries, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I have 2 YouTubes, one for Heroes of the Storm if you swing that way, and one just for Pokemon Unite, where I would love to see you guys. Come check it out. KIYE Berries.
Mockery.
Hello, my name is Mockery TV, and you can find me at Mockery TV. My big 3 are Twitch, Reddit, and Twitter. No, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. But I do have a Reddit as well. That's Mockery1713. Feel free to hit me up on any of those. Love talking with y'all. Love bouncing ideas off. That's where you can find me. MOCHRIE TV.
And I am Kyle Ferguson. I can be found on Twitter at Kyle Ferguson, twitch.tv/Kyle Ferguson. All these have the 2 S's in Ferguson.
I was going to ask. I was going to be like, how many S's, Kyle?
There's
but
2.
no, he
Preemptive
beat me to the punch. I don't know, man. I thought we had a thing going. I was asking that every time, but you know, I guess that just doesn't mean anything to Kyle.
We can have a thing. We can always have a thing. This will be our thing. Coming next episode, That's our thing. Thank you all for watching. and hanging out. Have a good
I'll
one.
see you all later.